You are saving money for your retirement. Starting in 6 months, and for 5 years, you invest $1,500 every 6 months in a mutual fund that pays 6% compounded semi-annually. After 5 years, the rate drops to 4.8% compounded quarterly, and you decide to deposit $1,000 every quarter for another 5 years. How much money will you have at the end of the 10 years? This is another back-to-back annuity, but in this one, they're both going to be accumulations because we keep on saving. We're never going to amortize or take money out of that account. That's good to note. In our first one, it is going to be every half year, and we're going to start in 6 months, 1 year, 1.5, all the way 4.5. So for every 6 months, we're going to start depositing money. I'm going to draw that in. We're going to deposit $1,500. And our last deposit is going to go in right at that 5 years. After this, it's going to drop to quarterly. So let's do a quarter, half, 3/4, 6 years, etc., all the way up to 10 years. And that's a quarter less than that, so 9 3/4 of a year. Here, we're going to be putting in $1,000 each quarter. And it's going to be at the end of the quarter because we're not putting it in twice at a time. When we're not told, we're always putting it in at the end. Let's look at our 2 annuities. 1, this is still an annuity, but because it starts 6 months from now, it's an ordinary annuity. Okay, we start with no money. We put in $1,500 every 6 months, and at the end, we have something. Let's look at the second one. Over here, at the beginning of the second 5 years, and this is the important time, we have some money. The present value of that second annuity is equal to the future value of the first, and this is almost always true in back-to-back annuities. Because this one starts at the end of the quarter, it's still an ordinary annuity. Now we have payments of $1,000, and at the end we have money. Looking over here, we've got 2 unknowns, future value and present value, so we can't do anything. Here we have only 1 unknown. That's why we're going to start with number 1. Okay, we're going to put everything in our calculator, and I'm going to start with 1. I like to label these so I know which one is which. In this case, the payments are semi-annual, and the compounding looks like it's semi-annual. And you can even write the compounding up here on the timeline if you think that makes things easier. J4 equals 4.8%. I think it does. So in here, I'm going to put 6%, and my N is going to be 5 years times twice a year, so 10. My present value, well, that's going to be 0 because I start with nothing, but we're putting $1,500 in. The future value, that's what we're going to try to find, and begin is off. So let's go through the calculator. I'm going to start by turning off the begin because this is an ordinary annuity. Now we're going to set PY. And you are welcome to fast forward if you're tired of watching me put stuff in a calculator. Fascinating. 0 present value, 1,500, that's positive because we're accumulating, and I'm going to compute our future value. So $17,000-ish. I'm going to write that right in. I'm going to store this because I might need it for later. I don't know. Well, I personally do, but you wouldn't know. It's always good to store those intermediate values. Now let's start setting up annuity number 2. This one is quarterly payments, but also quarterly compounding, and our interest rate is 4.8. It's going to be 5 times 4, so we've got 20 payments, and our present value is $17,195.81. Payment is $1,000. Future value is a compute, and our begin is still going to be off. So let's input things into the calculator. Make this positive. Now that's the present value. Starting at the side, I have PYCY is 4. Our N is now 20. Important. 4.8 is the interest rate. The present value we've done. Payment is 1,000. And the future value is what we're trying to compute. We end up with an answer of $44,000. $44,281.83. That's how much money we have. Let's pretend we take that out of the bank. Let's find out how much interest we made. So our interest is money out minus money in. In this case, we took out our savings, our life savings of $44,281.83. We put in 10 payments of $1,500 and we put in 20 payments of $1,000. Running that through a calculator, we've actually made quite a lot of interest, which is $9,200. So $9,281.83. Follow along on your calculator to make sure you get the right answers.